Welcome to the Equiratings Eventing Podcast. Welcome to the Equiratings Eventing Podcast, and it is an Equilume special for you. We have got the first episode in a brand new series, and it is all about the power average with a brand who believe massively in the health and the performance of horses. It's all about marginal gains. I'm going to get Sam Watson to tell us a little bit more about Equilume. Sam, you are a proud Equilume rider. Just give us an insight as to what it is all about.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. What a show. We've got two of my favorite topics here. We've got a bit of data and we've got a bit of science as well. So starting with Equilume, they are a company all about bringing nature's light, that quality of light that we get from nature, making sure that is there for the horses, whether they are stabled, whether they're in the middle of a long winter or whatever it is, that they're not being deprived of any of that quality of light. Obviously, as we know from humans, that we have a circadian rhythm. We are responsive to light. It affects us mentally. It affects us physically. So the areas that I love about Equilume as a performance rider is, I think, that muscle growth and that muscle recovery. I think the physical side of it, being able to help my equine athletes to perform and to recover well, both of those hugely affected by it. But the mood as well, I think that's the one that we can all relate to. I love to wind up our other host on the show, Diarm, because he was actually the first person who introduced me to the concept of light, when one day he looked like some sort of alien on a call because he had this blue light shining on him. But it's a big thing. You know, we talk about screen time as well as humans as well. So look, light's a massive thing. Equilume are making sure that your horses have the very best of it. So great to be working with them.
What I find amusing is I have never once received any kind of positive feedback from Sam about my own blue light here, which sits on my desk and shines into my face during the winter months. However, after I'd say about maybe 3 months of having I think he had probably about 2 or 3 Equilume lights in his stables from when he first became part of the Equilume stable of riders. I don't know how many do you have, 3 or 4? Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, I got a call in relation to the future of Ballybulger, which Sam will allow me to peek around the curtain at every so often. And the entire yard is blue lights, red lights. It is the future. Talk about futuristic yard it is now. So he's gone full circle because horses are involved and not his old friend.
Well, and also when you were doing it, you didn't have the scientific evidence to sell it to me and back it up. So I saw that, and then I have been. So
I didn't have the time. That's what I didn't have.
That's fair enough.
Let's do it. We've got Equilume. Let's start with power average because Nicole, myself, and Sam.
How did the two? Just give us the link between the two. So it's an Equilume show. We're going to be talking about power average. What's the link?
The link is Eventing Ireland. Eventing Ireland have been a long-time supporter of Equiratings because we're based here and because very often myself and Sam will ring up Alison, David, before David there was another David, and before that David there was Georgie Stubbington, and we've often approached Eventing Ireland and said, look, we think we're onto something here. What do you think? And more often than not, they will hear us out, which is more than can be said for an awful lot of people, Nicole. We have something in terms of what we've always wanted to do, and what Sam said when he saw this actually go live. He said to me, this is what Equiratings is all about. We want to bring something to people who are competing in the sport. We want to bring something to fans of the sport. We want to be able to bring something to brands who are looking to engage. We want to be able to bring something to national federations who are trying to create engagement for their members. And to tie all that kind of stuff together is not an easy thing. And Eventing Ireland have backed us and have listened to us. And when we've said, look, this could work, what about this? They've said, well, give it a go then. And what we needed to make that work was a brand who would see what we were trying to achieve and back it. And between Eventing Ireland and Equilume, they've done that. What we've wanted to do was improve how leagues are delivered in national and international eventing. It doesn't always have to be a league which is centered around an event. It doesn't always have to be physical events and series following each other. What Eventing Ireland have is 65 events in 2021 across all levels of national eventing in Ireland. And that's a huge opportunity for someone like Equilume to be able to be part of. So what we had to do was to find the right metric, the right number to be able to tie that together. And Sam, I'll let Sam talk a little bit about the power average, but it's a number that we talk a lot about in the office. And actually, it's a number that works really well for a league. It's a number that works really well in terms of engaging in membership. And it's just so many benefits. So what we've done is we've created the Equilume Power Average League. It's available on Eventing Ireland website. And we hope that it can become something for Eventing Ireland members that will add insight, will add fun, will add engagement. And we hope that Equilume enjoyed a ride of being able to bring something to Eventing Ireland members that hasn't been there before.
Equilume, all about performance, and this number is about shining a light on performance, which is, and it's cool. So the power average is the average of your best 3 results. That is what it is. So crucial thing, you need 3 finishing scores to do it. It's the average of your 3 best finishing scores. So it's not just one phase broken down. It's your overall performance. Again, great for a league, keeps it simple, keeps it quite pure in terms of it is a 3-phase sport. Now, why that's a massive number actually for Eventing Ireland, for an organization like that, is that actually about 30% of people won't even compete 3 times. So already there's about a third. So your first goal, your first mission is, if you are an owner or you are a rider and you've maybe got a new horse who is ready to go affiliated eventing, ready for Eventing Ireland, maybe 5 years old, starting out on their journey. Goal number 1, get yourself a power average, 3 completions. That might happen for you. We are recording this show just after the second weekend of April. Some people already have a power average. So season started a little bit late, but we've had 3 or 4 weekends and some people are already up and running with a power average. So that is great. It could happen in a month. It could happen in 3 or 4 months, or it might take the entire season. But that is goal number 1, is to get yourself 3 completions and get yourself on the leaderboard with a power average. And then obviously it's something that tells you where you are, where you're performing, and you've got something to improve. And it's, where it sits on the scale, we've got to be careful. There are metrics that flatter and there are metrics that matter. One of the metrics that can flatter you a little bit is your personal best. So but it's a real number, your PB. What is the best that you've ever produced? So that is there. But a lot of people, that's where they think they are. They think they're at their very, very, that's, in terms of expectations, how am I going to do this weekend? They're thinking of their PB or possibly even better. They're possibly thinking of like, what could my best dressage score be?
Go out there and do your best,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of common parlance, but like, go out there and do your best. We initially always, both from external people and of ourselves, place ourselves at, as Sam says, at our best ever, or we seek to improve on it. It's something, obviously, long-time listeners of this show who listen to high performance stuff will know we talk about all the time, that actually going out to achieve best on best on best is not realistic. But power averages, when it takes your 3 best finishing scores over the course of a season or over the course of a period of time, and obviously it can be applied. It's not going to be applied in Eventing Ireland. Certainly this season, I wouldn't expect per level or per age group or anything like that. It's something this year which will be about uniting the membership, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But actually your power average, which takes more than 1 result, so just increasing your sample size to 3 is already making it a much more realistic target. Again, people who listen to us talk about 6RA and dressage will know what we're talking about. Don't just think about your best. Think about a realistic average, something which doesn't go back too far, which makes it meaningless, something which doesn't concentrate on just your most recent run, which is probably going to not be reflective of overall performance, good or bad. So your best 3 finishing scores in a season is your power average. It is, remembering it's your best 3. If you're someone who's able to get 10 finishing scores, we're not necessarily saying you're going to hit your power average every week. But in terms of competing in a league, it is best foot forward. Now, one of the things I loved about the creation of this as a league, guys, was Sam's mentioned it, 3 or 4, maybe more, maybe up to about 10 people already have 3 finishing scores on the board. They are now kind of eligible to go and compete for the big prize here, which is, by the way, a big cash prize from Equilume and also quite a lot of product. So very, again, it's something that Eventing Ireland wanted to redo with their leagues, that people were properly incentivized, that we had those big prizes. So again, kudos to Eventing Ireland and to Equilume for backing that and for actually, making it happen. But there is cash prize, there is product. But what I love about this is that, yes, Claire Abbott is leading it right now with Arthalant. Already got 2 wins, I think. Power average probably somewhere in the mid-20s, Sam. But
26.5.
Yeah, not bad. 3. I'd like to have your average finishing score already at 26.5. Fairly nice start of the season for that combination.
Fairly nice. I would say that's an understatement.
Yeah.
I'd say that is setting the target.
I agree. 2 wins, 2 wins, and a power average of a 26 is good going. But what I love about this is Claire Abbott might lead all the way through to September, but you can still pounce even in the last. You can go and deliver a massive result in the last competition of the season, and you can take over. And also, Claire Abbott has put a 26 point. What is it, Sam? 26.6 or something. 26.5 up there. Claire Abbott and Arthalant can go and try and bring that down to a 24 and you would expect with the way that horse is performing right now that is probably not the result. That's probably going to drop in terms of their power average over the course of the season. By competing again, they can kind of bring it down and down. So what I love about it is you get a score on the board once you hit 3 completions, and then you have the opportunity to improve on it. So this league concept is not about quantity of runs, which is again something that Equiratings has always tried to stay away from. It's not about having to turn up at certain events. It's not about saying, if you're based in the north, that Ballindennis is one of the qualifiers for this leg, and actually you're going to have to travel the entire country. Or if you're based down with the Rhines, that you're going to have to travel up to Torella. It's about saying you can compete wherever you want in the country. You can compete at any level you want in the country. But we're going to take your 3 best scores and we're going to give it an average, your 3 best finishing scores, and give it an average. So tying together so much of the concepts that we talked about, it is, without wanting to bang on about it, Nicole, it's something that we're really proud of as a team, because it's talking about quality and not quantity, which ties in with our reliability ratings, our ERKI, just generally getting the concept away from MERs and towards constantly monitoring performance. So it's doing that. It's uniting the membership across all levels. So we're really big on not just focusing on the top of the pyramid. We don't want to just talk about Claire Abbott and Joseph Murphy and Sam Watson and Kieran Glynn and Isa Power and Camilla Spears and Aoife Clark and all the people that we talk about, Sarah Ennis, again and again and again and again, because they are the, if you see it, you can be it. We know that. But we also know that so many people across Eventing Ireland are not that worried about 4-star shorts. They're actually worried about moving from 80 to 90 and 90 to 100 and performing at novice level and winning at novice level. And that's what we want to create as a national federation, as Eventing Ireland. We want something for everybody. So across the membership, we're doing quality, not quantity. We're trying to get everybody to 3 runs. And we're trying to create a league then that we can engage and excite and put everybody up against everybody. And just looking at the league after these few runs, it's already looking exciting, Nicole.
I love that though, because that is that is so much fun for your amateur rider who perhaps has a horse that they aim to get out 4, 5, 6 times in a season. And this power average puts them up against the likes of Sarah Ennis, the likes of Sam Watson, the likes of Izzy Power, but on their level. So, the power average, the best score is taken from whatever level that it happens to be at. So if that is at 90, 100, whatever it is, 5-star, that is the score that's taken. So you could actually have Sarah Ennis with 3 scores from a 5-star, a 4-star, and a really low level competition.
It won't be a 5-star because what we're basing it on is national Irish and internationals competed in Ireland, and it is a travesty and a disgrace. We do not have a 5-star in Ireland,
well,
and we will have one soon.
We will have 4-star. Okay, all the way up to 4-star. They could be, I'm talking that there could be the final Irish selection trial for the Tokyo Olympic Games. There could be a score in there for that, but it could be somebody on their family hunter actually going out and in the summer and having a really, really nice time. Like, that's really cool that everybody can compete on a level playing field. I have to say, obviously, I appreciate we're only at the start of the season. Claire Abbott leads on that very, very good score of 26.5. But can I just put a shout out for Amanda Goldsbury, who has not 1, not 2, but 3 horses inside the top 10 on the leaderboard at the moment. And all of them have a power average of sub 30.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that is someone who fully deserves to have a light shone on their performance. Like, we were parked pretty close to them at the event this weekend, and you're just looking at horse after horse, so really nice horses, but so well produced, doing such a good job, so consistent, out every weekend, putting consistent, brilliant scores on the board. And it's great. Amanda's a brilliant rider at producing young horses, and great to have her there up there in the lights.
I also, not going to lie, a little part of me laughs just a little bit because it's an Eventing Island League. Equilume is an Irish company, and Amanda comes from New Zealand, and there is a nice little New Zealand flag featuring on the top 10 on the leaderboard 3 times. So you don't have to be Irish to compete in this, but it is an Eventing Island League. But I think that's brilliant.
And that my favorite part of this is if you scroll down to number 81 on the leaderboard. So there are 80 people that already have, there are 80 horses that already have got their power average in play, their full complement of 3 results. But at 81 place on the leaderboard, you get to the people who have 2. So their power average is pending. They've got 2 finishing scores recorded. So their next one will activate that power average. And sitting there, we know our leader, Claire Abbott, is on 26.5, but Molly Evans has got 2 results on the board, and she's averaging 25.4. And when you look into her results, she did a 20 dressage on her first results of the year, had a few time penalties. So the potential to knock Claire Abbott off the leaderboard.
Now, I got to stop you here. It's not. It is going to be Molly knocking Claire off the leaderboard, but this is purely on the horse. So all the Eventing Ireland leagues are shining a light on horses and on equine performance. So actually it would be Welland Graffiti knocking Arthalant off rather than anything to do with the rider. So it's not a rider's 3 finishing scores across the horses.
I think the riders have a little part to play.
Just can I
putting
ask,
it out there.
I hear it, but what I'm saying is it's not a rider league. You know what I mean? It's not.
Correct,
I'm not allowing you to pick your best horses across all of your horses. I'm making you pick.
I think that was an important and valid point to raise.
Thank you.
I think you've done a good job there.
I have. Thank you.
Sam, are you featuring on this league yet? I'm scrolling. I keep scrolling.
Stop scrolling. I've only done a couple of events.
Okay.
I did have a winner. I had a winner yesterday. Ballybulger Anchorman might get on there. I think he finished on a 27-ish. There he didn't finish on a 27 on his first run out of the season, but he did on his second and he won. So I've had one winner, and Rocket Man's doing all right. He finished in he finished on 28, I think, at the weekend. Okay. So it's early days, Nicole Brown. It's only April. I'm competing against myself. That's the most important person that you should be competing against. I want to become a better version of myself. I want my horses to become a better version of themselves. And I can tell you.
Never mind all that. I've got something interesting.
Sam's having a personal revelation.
No,
and Dee's like,
Nicole.
No, don't worry about that.
Nicole,
don't worry about it.
I listen to that stuff every day. I've got something interesting for you. Stephen Smith, because I just scrolled down, he's number 82 on the list because he only has 2. Well, he probably has a few horses on the list, actually. I haven't, but I just spotted him there when Sam was talking about Welland Graffiti and Molly. Anyway, I'll tell you something interesting. He currently has the all-time record for runs in Eventing Ireland competitions, which is over 900 runs. And if you look at his performance nearly every season since like 2013, 2014, when we began looking at Eventing Ireland data, he normally hits over 100 runs in a season. He even hit 50 national runs in 2020 from however few events that we had. So Stephen Smith, because you know the way Sam always talks about how Horseware Bushman has over 1,000 Eventing Ireland points and he's the best. Stephen Smith is about to be the first ever person to hit 1,000 runs in Eventing Ireland competition.
That's quite cool. He's a busy boy. Cool?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He was in Torella, which is Northern Ireland, on Saturday, which is where he lives. But and then the next morning he was down in Liscarvin, which is beside me, down in Carlow, like well south of Dublin. And I was given out because I had to do 2 days in a row of eventing. And the first person I saw when I drove into an event that was 15 minutes away from me was Stephen Smith. He was already there, already on a horse. So yeah,
isn't that something though, like that you want to just say, like for all of the kind of podcasts, all of the articles that appear, all of the dressage awards, the people who stand on podiums and pick up things, don't sometimes you just want like to get Eventing Ireland or British Eventing or the FEI or whoever it is and say, look at this fella. This fella has done 1,000 runs. Like, I want to put Stephen Smith on a podium at the end of this year. I'm going to make sure he gets serious recognition because there's loads of people like this, by the way. Like, if you just look at Mike Ryan is doing it, Cahill is doing it. Actually, an awful lot of the names at the top of the list are all kind of, they're all closing in on this 1,000. Well, not maybe. Say Joseph has 750 runs. And below that, then it starts dropping off. Fraser, Brian Morrison, Camilla, all in around that between 500 plus. But 1,000 runs is something very special that deserves serious recognition. So power average or no power average, Stephen Smith's going to be standing on a podium on his own with me on one side of him with a big award. And I don't know who. Do you want to do it, Nicole?
We could get him we could get him a t-shirt though. What was the slogan that Sam said earlier that I thought was perfect? There are metrics that matter and metrics that flatter.
Oh, yeah.
I think
this one matters. This man has worked hard. This man has grafted and worked hard. He's won. He's also won an awful lot. He's very good.
Okay.
See, if you want, I'll get a signed. Do you want me to get him to sign something for you? Would you like his autograph? Because I walked the course 2 meters away from him. When? On Sunday.
Imagine how many courses he's walked. 1,000 runs by the end of this year.
Imagine if he had a stepometer on.
I actually, what was quite funny was I had my heart rate monitor on and I put on my wellies and I went off and I ran around the course. And you get to these kind of points on a course when you can see the fence and it's kind of like one of those loop back fences where you got to go down, jump it and come back. And you can see it's just a table or something. And a lot of the time you wouldn't actually walk up to it. This is possibly bad advice that you should be giving to young riders. But us older,
do not listen to this, people.
You know, if you're Sam, you might not walk the loop fence. But anyway, so I was like, no, I'm running it all. So I ran up to everything. So get my full, I should have had my Nike Run Club app open, but I didn't. So I ran the full course and I overtook Stephen as we were walking to the start. He was walking to the start. I ran past him. He's like, good man, Sammy, keep it up there. On you go. So, and off I go. And not joking, I'm coming to the second last fence. I come around the corner after the second last fence. And who do I see walking up to the last fence? Stephen Smith. I was like, what have you done? How have you got here? He's like, sure, you can see him all there and work today.
This is absolutely not a good piece of advice.
This is not a course walking.
1,000 by the end of the year. All right, Nicole, bring us back on track. Okay. So this is the launch of the Equilume Power Average League with Eventing Ireland. It's an honour and a privilege to be working with Eventing Ireland again. They've been great supporters. We think we're giving something great back. and we're delighted that Equilume came on board to support it. We're going to be talking about it a bit over the course of the season. It's going to be live. It's going to be live now because this podcast is not going out until the thing is live. And I think it's going to be live right now. So if you go onto the Eventing Ireland website, you will see what a Power Average League looks like. And if you're listening to this in another country, you are going to have a Power Average League very soon, hopefully, if all works out.
I think, though, that if you're in Eventing Ireland and you compete nationally, then this is a really, really fun thing to get involved with and to kind of set the three results. You'd think it's an achievable number, 3 completions by the end of the year. We're just getting started. Even if you don't go out competing a huge amount, this is quite a nice target to look for. And if you are competing regularly, then actually you can start thinking, right, I need to improve on that. I need to kind of look at where I am. It'll mean that you take stock of your current results, that you actually start looking at them in a different way. And if you are not in Ireland and you would like to still do this, you can still calculate your power average, and you could have your own personal leaderboard against people in Ireland, and just see how you compare. There's no harm. It's literally your best 3 completing scores this season, and take the average. So divide it by 3. Add them together, divide it by 3. Even I can do those maths.
Sam?
Yes?
Do you want to put a bet on Arthalant? Do you think Claire Abbott will win the league from here after, 4 results on the board? No?
No, it's going to shake up. We're only in April. Things are going to shake up. The amateurs haven't been out yet. Hannah Watson Sparkles Watson finished on a 12.3 once.
She's still talking about that, though. That must be nearly 5 or 6 years ago. That's
all right, easy.
What I'm saying is that you can't go on past, and it's also not a one-off. Do you know what I mean? The power average is about 3.
Yeah, she's plenty of 20s to back it up as well.
If you're listening to this, Sparks, 3 finishing scores is what I need.
He is totally lighting a fire under Sparkles Watson right now. She will be in the school brushing up on those skills, and she will be heading out to
It's good fun. Do you know, one of the things that I was saying about getting your targets aligned in the right position, there's 2 sides to it. So there's the fun side and there's the performance side, and it really should be both. Like improving your performance should be fun. But if you have these kind of slightly unrealistic expectations of yourself, because the potential results in eventing are quite wide. It's not the 100 meters. There's a lot that can happen. So going out to try and aim for your best every time is not only quite a kind of hard thing to do mentally, because there's an awful lot of disappointment. It's not the best way to train and improve your performance. So that's the other side of it. So even if you are, whether you're trying to sell horses, whether you're trying to compete on teams or get onto pony teams, junior teams, whatever it is, you need to know your all-round system. Like your system needs to be managing your risk. It needs to be managing your show jumping poles. It needs to be managing your between the flags. It needs to be managing your against the clock, and it needs to be managing your dressage score. But all of those things and your ability to deliver all of those things on one day. That's why the power average is such a great metric, and it's why it falls into the bracket of a metric that matters. It's not taking the one off the PB, which is great. It's great that is proven. No one can take your PB away from you, but this is much better to have that sample of your best 3 to guide you towards that. It's an achievable target.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And listeners, we hope you have enjoyed an insight into the first Equilume special of the Eventing podcast. We will have more coming up for you over the course of the year. We're going to have all sorts, actually. There is an incredible stable of Equilume riders, including Sam, Liz Halliday-Sharp, Philip Dutton. So we'll probably have a few interviews in there, but there is going to be lots in store. And go and give their website a visit, equilume.com. We actually did a webinar, Sam, earlier on this year, back in sort of January, February, that explains it all in a lot more detail. There's a lot more of the science behind it. And if you go onto the website, you'll be able to go, I think, and watch that back if you would like to do so. If you're in Eventing Ireland and compete nationally, then why not set this as one of your targets? Get those 3 results and get yourself on that leaderboard. And if you're not in Ireland, then hopefully you will have a power average league very soon, but you can always calculate your own. Dee, Sam, thank you both very, very much. I'm excited about this. I have to admit, I love a good leaderboard, and I am already picking out the people that I will be supporting. Sparkles Watson, I'm looking at you.
Which horse do you think will have the best power average in the world this year in eventing? Nicole Brown?
Is this at any level?
Yep, any level, all levels.
International, any level. Oh. Well, I don't know, because you could get a 2-star horse that, throws in a...
I know. I mean, I'm not
really,
asking
really
you to consider them. I'm just thinking, first name that pops into your head when you think power average. Can someone who's got...
It's your Chipmunk, those kinds of horses.
What about SAP Ashapi, New Kid on the Boat? It is your repeatable...
New Kid on the Boat? What expression is that?
What boat to wear, Sam?
Well, we don't all live on blocks these days, do we?
New Kid on the Boat.
Some people choose to live on a boat. And
Ingrid is not one of them.
I don't think
I'd be very surprised if Ingrid kept them
should discriminate against those people who like living on boats.
They would be the names that spring to my mind. It'll be interesting to see, because I think that we'll see some low numbers coming out at the start of the year. Thank you, guys. Listeners, we hope you've enjoyed it. A big thank you to Equilume for their support to Eventing Ireland as well. We're really excited about the league going forwards, and we hope that you guys will all get involved as well. So a big thank you. Sam's going back to his boat. Dee's off to go and
have my lunch.
Have your lunch
in a beautiful sunny April afternoon.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll leave you guys to it. Listeners, thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back very soon with more on the Equilume Series Eventing podcast.